So let's start with this one. So it says this whole thing is 0, and k is a positive number, and x is 7. What is the value of k? So we need to solve this. So 2k squared plus 17 minus 7, isn't it? Because x is 7 is equal to 0. So that means whatever this thing is, that must be 7, because 7 minus 7 is 0, right?
Yeah.
So you can simply move this 7 to the other side, so you get positive 7 equals to the root of that, okay?
Yeah.
So we square both sides, then what you get is 2k squared plus 17 equals to 49.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because the inside of the square root must be 49, so square root of 49 is 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So therefore 2k squared equals to 49 minus 17,
Right.
which is 32. And therefore k squared is equal to 16. So k equals to plus and minus square root of 16, so plus and minus 4.
Right.
So
Wait,
that's
why
4.
why square root?
Oh, because I need to find the value of k, right?
Yeah.
This is k squared, so I need to find the value of k.
Oh.
I just take square root.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Got
Does everything make sense to you here?
it. Yes.
Okay. Try this one yourself. So I want you to solve this one yourself.
Okay. I think I got it. I think it's square root of 10. K equals the square root of 10. I haven't calculated what that is.
Try. So I'm going to move 4 to the other side. Then you get this, right? And
Yeah.
divide by 2.
Oh, actually, no. In that case, I got it wrong.
Okay,
think.
then you square both sides. Then you get 4. K squared equals to 6, so therefore k is equal to root 6.
6. Okay, right. Yeah, because I didn't move the 2 over, but I was like just redoing that because I thought the square root of 10 was wrong. So yeah.
So you can actually take this one and square both sides straight away. Then you get 4, because square root of 2 is 4, and then square of that is a k squared minus 2, and then square of that is 16. And divide by 4, you get 4. And then you don't need any more bracket. Like that. So you get that still, okay?
Yeah, right.
Now, moving on to the next question. This is about 2 straight lines. Okay, so we've got 2 lines, and line L is parallel to line K. These 2 lines are parallel. What is the value of P? Okay, so you need to know that the formula for gradient is rise over run.
Yep.
It's a y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1.
Right.
So you can take this one, rise over run, or alternatively, you can do the gradient of L is equal to 2 minus 0. So that minus that over that minus that. 0 minus -5. So that's 2 over 5.
Yeah.
Gradient of K must be 0 minus -4, 0 minus -4, P minus 0. So that's 4 over P. and they are parallel. So I want you to go from here yourself. So all you had to do was equate that with this one, because these two are parallel. So that's the condition, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 over 5 equals to 4 over p, and 2 over 5p equals to, don't have to do that. You flip it, so you get 5 on 2 equals to p on 4. And this 4 can go over there, which is 20 on 2, which is 10.
Yep.
Or you can simply look at this, 2 on 5. So that's just times it by 2 on 2. You get 4 on 10. And that must equal to 4 on p. You can see that 4 is equal to 4. So p must equal to 10. So maybe that's how you worked it out. Moving on to next question. So this one is about indices. Now, x to the power of a to the power of 2 over x to the power of b squared is equal to x to the power of 16. So you know that 8, if you have 2 to the power of 5 over 2 to the power of 2, what's that equal to?
To the power of 3.
Yeah, if you have 2 to the power of 2 over 2 to the power of 5, what's that equal to?
To the is -3. Can you have, yeah.
Or you can write it as 1 over 2 to the power of 3, is that right?
Yeah, right.
So you can do 5 minus 2, which is 3, or you can do 5 minus 2, which is 3, but it's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, you know how to do this one. So if you have x to the power of a squared over x to the power of b squared, that's equal to x to the power a squared
a minus b. A squared minus b squared.
minus b squared. This is equal to x to the power 16.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to it from here.
Is that in the question?
So you can see that this one, so from this one, we found this one, which is equal to this one, right?
Yeah.
From there, we found this one, true?
Yeah.
This is equal to a plus b times by a minus b, which is 16, true?
Yeah.
And they're saying that a plus b is 2. This is 2 here.
Oh, so it's 8.
So this is 8. So this is 8 here.
Okay.
Interesting, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I see that.
Yeah. Now you can try this one, maybe.
Sure.
X to the power of 2a squared over x to the power of 2b squared equals to x to the power of 8. And yeah, find a minus b if a plus b is 2. Try this yourself.
Okay, I think.
What'd you get?
A minus b is 1. I think.
2. Have a look at this here and compare it with yours. So, question 8. So NA equals to 360. So the measure A in degrees of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is related to the number of sides n of the polygon by the formula above. if the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is greater than 50, what is the number of the sides it can have? So let's talk about the meaning of this here. So if you have regular polygon like this, so it's four-sided, right?
Yeah.
This is 90, 90, 90, 90.
Yeah.
So 4 sides times by 90 degree equals to 360. Is that right?
Yeah.
If you have a regular triangle, which is 60, 60, 60 here, if you just take the angles, exterior angle, so this one's exterior angle is this one, right?
Yeah.
Exterior, exterior. It can actually stretch the other way. Doesn't matter really. That's the same as this one here. So this is 60 here, so that's 120, true?
Yeah.
Exterior is 120, so 120 times by 3 sides, that's 360.
Yeah.
So it says that if the exterior angle of a regular polygon is greater than 50, what is the greatest number of sides it can have?
Wait,
So
what does it mean, regular polygon?
regular polygon is where you have triangle. It could be this one here, square. It could be a pentagon. But when it says regular polygon, so poly means many, okay?
Yeah.
I would say gon means shape,
Right.
many sides. So polygon could be triangle, could be rectangle like this, square, or pentagon or hexagon, right? So these are all polygons.
Yeah.
But when it says regular polygon, it means all these angles are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, all these angles must be the same.
Right.
Now, there is also another formula separate from this one that's known as n minus 2 times by 180 divided by n. So what it means is this. Let's plug in 4 there. Okay. So if we plug in 4 there, it'll be 2 times by 180 divided by 4, true?
Yeah.
Then you get 90. So each angle here is 90 inside. So this is about the internal angle. This is formula for internal. That formula there is external. So external angle is given by 360 divided by n.
Right.
That divided by that, okay? So memorize this formula. This is very, very important. So if I go for pentagon, what's the angle of each of this angle in the pentagon? I want you to try that. I want you to figure out. So we know that this is 60 here, right? 60, 60, 60. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Sum of angles in a triangle is 60. Sum of angles within rectangle or quadrilateral is 360, you know? That's 90 here, 90, 90, and 90, okay?
Yeah.
So what about pentagon? It's pretty simple. So sum of this is 180. Sum of all of that is 360. Sum of all of that is actually 540, which is that times by 3.
Right.
That times by 2 is this one.
Yeah.
That times by 3, that times by 4 is this one.
Yeah.
Which is actually, so these stuff here, that is just this numerator bit here.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
And you divide by the number of sides, number of angles, then you get each angle.
Okay, I see that.
So you see that? Okay, so this one is actually 720.
20. Yep.
You divide this one by 5. How much do you get for this one?
110. Sorry.
108.
Yeah, 110. Oh, 8. Right.
108. Divide this one. Have you got a calculator with you?
Yes.
So divide this one by 5. What do you get? I mean 6. You get 120 degrees here.
Yeah.
Etc. etc. Now, let's go back to this question. So it says that whatever polygon you have, so you can see that what's the exterior angle here?
60.
60, isn't it? So that's still greater than 50, right?
Yeah.
So it says that measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon is greater than 50. So this is greater than 50 here. This one is 180 minus 108, which is 72. That's 60.
Yeah.
If you have some 7-sided figure, what's going to be the angle here?
It's 800. Oh, it's 900.
900.
And divided by it.
You can use this formula here, 360. It'll be 51. About 51.4 degrees. If you have 8-sided, like that, what's going to be this angle?
45.
45. So you can answer this question now.
So 7.
The answer is 7, that's right.
Right.
So you can just try this by trial and error.
Yeah.
Plug in 5, plug in 6, plug in 7, see what the angles are. So if you have 5 sides, the exterior angle is 72. Exterior angle is 60, 51, 45.
Right.
Yeah.
So this question is just about knowing that, like, formula for the exterior angle.
Yeah, you just have to use that formula.
Yeah.
You don't have to use this formula because that's not given, but they provide this formula for you.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can, instead of trial and error, you can actually think of it this way. So you have a angle is, let's suppose the angle is 50. And n is the number of sides, right? Then n is equal to number of sides. That's equal to 7.2 sides.
Right.
So that means when n equals to 7, then you try what the angle is, which gives us 51 degrees. And then you try 2 sides that are, you try 7 sides, you try 8 sides, because we can't get 7.2 sides, right?
Yeah.
So you try 8 sides, and a equals to 360 divided by 8, which is 45. So this is lower than 50. So the maximum number of sides you can have and still have exterior angle greater than 50 is 7.
Right.
It's a bit more difficult to think about it this way. So you can just do multiple choice, go through trial and error. That works just fine as well.
Yeah.
Now moving on to question 9. Okay, let's try this one now. So it says that question 9, the graph of a line in the xy plane has a slope of 2, that's gradient of 2, and contains the point 1,8. The graph of a second line passes through these 2 points. If the 2 lines intersect at point AB, what is the value of A plus B? So it's pretty complicated, right?
Yeah.
But you can plot this one. So I want you to, can you point maybe somewhere that is pretty close to 1/8? Okay, that's excellent. And let's draw a line that is that's got gradient of 2. Let's say this is gradient of 2. Okay, so this is the line, and that's 1. Just have to be a rough sketch. Gradient of 2 is positive gradient, so it's rising instead of falling.
Yeah.
And there is another point which is joining 1, 2, somewhere there, and then 2, 1, right?
Yeah.
That's 2, 1. So join these two, then you get a line like this, and it's somewhere there.
Right.
We know that this point there is AB, right?
Yeah.
But A is going to be a negative value. B is going to be positive value, true?
Yes.
All right, so I think it's going to take a lot of time to figure it out. So can you guess the answer? So we know that it's definitely going to be somewhere between, just according to the sketch here, it looks like that point is definitely above 2
Yeah.
and below 8. So the
Yeah.
y value, we can take that somewhere around 6, you know?
Sure.
I'm not really sure, but we can just
Yeah.
guess. So 6 there. And this value is somewhere around negative something. So do you think some of these two is positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. I think unless it goes like really, really far. So can you take a guess?
3 or 4.
Three or 4. Okay. So that's one way of doing some SAT question, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just draw it out and just take a guess.
Yeah.
Because not many people can actually do all the questions with all the proper processing, like calculation. So sometimes it's necessary to just guess.
Yeah.
But let's choose our guess as a 3. But let's work it out properly, okay? And see if it's really 3.
Yeah.
So the equation for the first one is, it's got gradient of 2, and it goes through 1, 8, right?
Yeah.
So put 1 there, 8 there. So 8, 2 times 1 plus c. So c equals 2. 8 minus 2, which is 6, right?
Yeah.
So the first equation is 2x plus 6. Second equation is, you figure out the gradient. 1 minus 2. 2 minus 1. That's negative half.
Yeah.
Sorry, negative 1, sorry.
1. Yeah.
That's negative 1. So the gradient is y equals to negative 1. The equation is this, because the gradient is, we have to figure out c here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just have to plug in any point, either 1, 2, or 2, 1, doesn't matter, you're going to get the same answer. So if you plug in, so just plug in a point that it goes through. So 1 times 1.
Yeah.
Plus c, so c is equal to 3. So therefore equation is y equals to negative x plus 3.
Yeah.
You can subtract and figure out the value of x. You can solve this simultaneously. So I'm going to do y minus y, which is 0. 2x minus negative x is 3x. 2 minus negative 1 is 3. This minus this is 3. So x is equal to -1. -3 equals 3x. -1 equals to x. So what that means is that this value here is -1.
Yeah.
We can plug that point in here. Y equals to -2 plus 6. So y value is 4. Do you see that? Plug that into here or here. Doesn't matter.
Right.
4. So that means that value there is actually 4. What's 4 plus -1?
3.
3. So we got it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to time manage yourself, right? In the
Of course.
exam. So think about this. If you're running out of time, would you actually go through all that process?
Probably just make a safe bet between the two.
Yeah, that's a good choice. You know, this is a good choice. So just go for it. If you can narrow it down to two choices, it's better to guess by probability you know, in terms of probability. If you can definitely narrow it down to 2 choices, go for one of them. Okay.
Right.
There's a penalty if you get it wrong, but still, if you can narrow it down to 2 choices, you have to guess.
Yeah.
If you only have 4, if you can't narrow it down at all, then you shouldn't guess. Just leave
Right,
it.
of course.
Yeah. Just leave
Okay.
it.
Wait. So there's no. You do get penalized for getting a wrong answer, so it's better not to answer if you don't know.
If you have absolutely no clue, just leave it blank.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they still have that rule, don't they? SAT penalty rule. So college. Yeah, so it says what? Fraction of a point is subtracted for wrong answers. So a quarter point is subtracted if you get it wrong for 5 choice questions. So no point is deducted for unanswered questions.
Okay, that's interesting.
So this is true for SAT subject test. I'm not sure about the general test. Let's have a look. That's SAT scores, getting scores, how the SAT scored. So this is not saying anything about. Yeah, I'll find out.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
So I was able to verify that it's the case for the subject test.
Right.
But not for the general test. But in my generation, it was.
Yeah, okay.
The penalty definitely existed.
It's good to know.
Okay. But if it turns out that there is no penalty, then you can just guess. You have to answer every single question because there's a chance, because there's no penalty. And if you get it right, then you get it right.
Of course.
It's better to just fill them out instead of leaving them as blank. Number 10, which of the following equations has a graph in the xy plane for which y is greater than or equal to -1? So it's a graph of these, and it is talking about which one of these is always greater than this line, which means like if you have a graph like this, that's always above -1.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you a graph of all of that. So this one here is, okay, so I'm going to start with this one. So if you have y equals to absolute value of x, that's just, you know how y equals x looks like this, right?
Yeah.
Because y value is the same as x value. So if you have 1, then you get 1 as well. If x is negative 1, you get negative 1 here as well.
Right.
But if you have y equals to absolute value of x, then you're having this.
Because it's always positive.
Because it's always positive.
Right.
If it's negative 1, if x is negative 1, y is positive 1. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you have a, that one is actually shifted down by 2. So it's actually negative 2 here.
Mm-hmm.
And it has graph like this.
Yeah.
So that's negative 1. So this is not always above.
Sure.
Do you know the equation of y equals to x squared? So that looks like just a parabola.
Parabola.
Was minus 2 again, so it's going down.
So it's not.
Yeah, this is y equals to x squared minus 2. So that's not. X minus 2 squared. So one thing you need to know about this one is that this is actually bracket square, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it's minus 2, strangely, it's actually moving to the right.
Yeah, okay, I think
by
I remember learning this.
If it is, so this is a y equals to x minus 2 squared. And if it's moving to the left, it'll be y equals to x plus 2 squared.
Right.
Okay. So that's actually correct. This one, the original cubic function looks like this. This one doesn't matter how much it moves up or moves down. It's always gonna stretch down to negative infinity.
Yeah.
So actually, the graph is going to look like this rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's negative 2. So that's actually negative 1. So that's out.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to come back to more graphs if it requires later on. But we're just going to leave it there for now. 11. Okay. So this one is about complex numbers. Now, I need to first talk about this stuff. Like if you have 3 minus 5 root 2 minus 8 plus 2 root 2, you can do what's called a rationalization of denominator. Have you heard of it?
No.
So this is a must-know technique for SAT. So we're going to go through that first. If you have, for example, 2 over root 3, you see how the denominator is surd in surd
Yeah.
form, which is not rational.
Yeah.
So we do what's known as rationalization of denominator by multiplying the numerator denominator by root 3 because root 3 over root 3 is same as 1. So you multiply by 1, which means it stays the same.
Yeah.
If you do that, root 3 times root 3 is just 3 because it's squared. And this is a 2 root 3. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's done. This is the same thing as this one here.
Okay.
If you have 1 on root 5, can you rationalize this?
1 multiply 1 root 5 over 5. So just
So multiply this
5
by
over
what?
5. Root 5 over root 5.
So root 5 over
5.
5. So this is the same thing as this one here.
Yeah.
Try this one. 4 over 3 root 7. I want you to rationalize that.
Do you have to wait, do you have to multiply the root 3 along with the root 7?
It doesn't matter. You can do 3 root 7 as well.
So
or just root 7. So if you do
so
root
4
7 root 7, then what you get is 4 root 7 over
over
3
times 7.
times 7. So this
Yeah.
becomes 7, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's 4 root 7 over 21.
Right.
If you do 3 root 7 times by 3 root 7, 3 root 7, you're going to get 12 root 7. How much would be the denominator?
It's 21 again, like 3 times 7.
It's actually 3 root 7, 3 root 7, so it's actually 9 times by 7.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, so it kind of becomes 63, 12 root 7. But
Yeah.
this is the same as this one here. 4, 21, so this one becomes, if you divide by 3, so 4 root 7, divide by 3, you get 12.
Yeah. Okay.
They cancel each other, same thing. Now, if you have a number of terms on the denominator, for example, if you have root 2 minus root 3, and let's say 1 here, and let's say you want to rationalize this, then what we do is we take the conjugate of this one. So all you have to do is change the negative sign to plus and just copy exactly the same thing from here.
Yeah.
You see
Okay.
what's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
And then what happens next is you see this is a minus b, a plus b. See?
Okay.
So that'll be a squared minus b squared. So this is a minus b times by a plus b is equal to a squared plus a minus b squared. So the
Okay.
numerator is that times by that, which is just the root 3 plus root 2 plus root 3. This one square, this is a square, so that's 2, minus b square, that's just 3.
Yep. Okay.
So it's just negative 1 root 2 plus root 3. This is a negative root 2, negative root 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Divide that by negative 1, divide that by negative 1, okay?
Yeah.
If you have 1 over 2 root 2 plus 3 root 7, times it by what? 2 root, in this case, you have to include everything, okay?
Yeah.
You have to include even that as well. You have no choice. Like over here, you could just multiply by root 7, right? Not 3 root 7. That
Yeah.
overcomplicated it, but in this case, you have to include this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 root 2 over. Oh, yeah. Plus.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh, you just do the opposite. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a plus now, so it's minus.
So it
So it'll be 2 root 2 minus 3 root 7.
Yeah.
Which is that times by that. And then this is a plus b, a minus b. So it's a squared, which is 4 times 2. B squared is 9 times 7.
Yeah.
So this is 8 here, 63. And then 2 root 2 minus 3 root 7.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So then this becomes 8 minus 63 minus 55. 2 root 2 minus 3 root 7. Now you can push this negative sign up there, which means that becomes positive. So 3 root 7, and that becomes negative.
Okay.
So that's a better shape than this one.
Yeah.
So I want you to try this now. Let's say 4 over 3 root 2 minus root 3. I want you to try this.
Okay. Multiply what's inside the
So
square
this
root.
one here is 3 root 2 plus root 3, right?
Oh, sorry, it wouldn't be over 9, it'd be over 26. 27.
We multiply by the conjugate of this one. So I'm just doing the first step.
Yeah.
Did you get this bit here?
Yes.
Okay, so times this one. Then you get 9 times 2. This one square is 9, 2, right?
Yeah.
And then this one square is just 3.
9. All right.
Yeah. And this one times by this is 12 root 2. And this one times by this one is 4 root 3. And that's plus.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I accidentally multiplied the 7.
That's 18 minus 3. 12 root 2 plus 4 root 3. So this is 15. 12 root 2, 4 root 3.
Yep. Okay.
So that would be the answer. Try this one then, if you haven't got this one right. What if I have 1 over, what if it's like negative root 2, negative root 3? What should I multiply this by?
Negative root 2 plus root 3.
Yeah, I think so. Negative root 2 plus root 3. Just have to change one of them, not both of them, okay? Let me just double check this one though. It'll be, yeah, it'll be A minus B, A plus B, right? So it's still working. So it must be, you just have to change one of them, that's all.
Yeah.
So minus root 2 plus root 3, right?
Yeah.
So just have to, even though it's a negative, if we square that, it's going to be a positive number.
Right.
So if you square that, you're going to get 2.
Yeah.
If you square this, you get 3 with a minus sign.
Yeah.
And then this will be minus root 2 plus root 3.
Yeah.
So this is a negative 1. This changes to root 2 minus root 3.
Yeah.
Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to try this one here. So whenever you have I in your SAT exam, just note that this is negative root of negative 1. So you can actually replace that with, so 3, so don't worry about replacing this one with, replacing I with a root negative 1. Simply multiply this by 8 minus 2i, 8 minus 2i.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very similar to this stuff here.
Yeah.
You get 8 plus 2i, 8 minus 2i, so 8 squared is 64, and then minus, it'll be 4 I squared. Is that right? Square of that is 4I squared. True?
Yeah.
And then this is a bit complicated, but this times by this is?
No, 3
24.
times. Yeah.
3 times 8 is 24. 3 times by negative 2I is?
Negative 6i.
This times by this is?
Negative 40i.
Yep, this times by this is positive
10i.
10I squared, right?
All right.
Yeah, the reason why we do this is you need to know that I is square root negative 1, so therefore I squared is actually negative 1.
Okay.
This is pretty strange stuff. The reason is, how can a square of something be negative? Think about this. What's the square of 2?
4.
Positive 4, right? What's the square of negative 2?
It's a negative 4. Or no, it's still 4.
It's still positive 4, right?
Yeah.
So whether you square positive number or negative number, you get positive number.
Yeah.
But this I is known as imaginary number. And if you square that, you get negative number. You get negative 1. So this simplifies down to, this is negative 1. So this is a 68 here. Because 64 plus 4. Understand?
Yeah. Okay.
And you have, this is equal to negative 10. So it is equal to 14. 24 plus that is negative 14. And this one is minus 46i. So this one is, you divide by 2, 2, 2, you get 7. That will divide by 2, 23, 34i.
Yeah.
So the answer is this one here.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a bit complicated, this one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you some homework if you don't have much to do this week.
Yeah, I could probably get around to it.
Yeah, I'll send you a video on index laws. So yeah, on top of this, you can just watch that video.
Sure.
All right, I think we can call it a day.
All right, thank you.
We'll continue with the next problems next time.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, see you, Ethan. Bye.
See ya.